Wow, we're off to a great start. Ryan, today, that was better. There will be no surprises. There will be no mysteries. There will be no secrets. I will tell you everything we're going to talk about. Once I tell you what we're
Except
going
the
to talk about, I'm going to look for your reaction to what we're talking about. How
except for
does
the
that sound?
170 other podcasts that you are running, David.
You don't worry about what I run.
Stop telling me what to
Ryan,
read.
we have to talk about miscellaneous statues around the world of fat people for no reason. We have to talk about Doge cuts and why they were tabled. We have to talk about the reversal of the Patriot Act. We have to talk about Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, who is dragging her feet on the release of the Epstein files, and maybe why, because James O'Keefe has a bombshell that's supposed to drop that Alex Jones seems to think could involve her. So we have to get to all of these things in 1 hour of a show, Ryan. That's your thumbs up. A fucking thumbs up is what I get.
You don't worry about my reaction.
Ryan is the CEO of the show and the co-host and the producer. I was looking for a little more than a thumbs up. As always, get your chats going. We don't plug our own show on our show. You obviously know we exist. You're watching our show, but if you'd like to, you know, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying if you'd like to, Ryan, let's talk about
You
statues.
like the video? Share the video. Is that what you're saying? Are
Yeah,
you saying fat mannequins is
there's some fatties.
little big girls?
Well, let's start here because I wouldn't. In Times Square, Ryan, New York City, a liberal hellhole, I certainly would expect to see this. Okay, I'm going to pull this up. I certainly would not be surprised if I were to witness this. This is a 12-foot tall statue in Times Square that, quote, confronts preconceived notions of identity and representation. It is a very hefty African American woman. It's, of course, and I would never say anything other than this, it is, of course, brave and beautiful and bold, Ryan. And that's the kind of thing I'm looking for from Times Square. Now, with that said, all I have to do is scroll, I believe, because I think I have this. Here we are in Italy with a 13-foot, not to be outdone, bronze statue of a black woman on her phone. This is real, by the way. This one looks bald. Also, I don't know what's with the bald mullet look, but that's what they went with on this one. Do these statues make you feel proud, Ryan, of your heritage? Would you defend and fight for these statues, Ryan?
Probably not. Can you pull up a picture of Mount Rushmore quick?
Mount Rushmore? Yeah.
Or like
Ryan,
the
that is not a
Lincoln Monument or something?
Okay, I'll pull up Mount Rushmore, but with all due respect, Ryan, Mount Rushmore is not a giant, bold statue of a black woman, which is really what I'm hoping for in today's society.
The thing that they're admitting, it's the thing that's also, yeah, there you go. That's a statue.
Courtesy of Christine Gadbois, apparently. All I did was Google it, and I got her photo. Is Google giving credits to other people now for pictures? Is this a thing?
Instagram's the shit, dude. Instagram for kids now, that'd be funny to talk about. IG for teens. Seen that today. They're with you together. I think it's interesting to state that, if that statue is supposed to be the opposite of conformity of the American standard, how is it the opposite of conformity when the average American is fat?
So you're saying they should have built a classic statue, a white male with 6-pack abs, maybe his penis out. Is that what you're looking for? You're looking for a man with a penis out in Times Square, Ryan? Is that what you're hoping?
You mean like David? Pull up a picture of David.
You know how many kids are in Times Square, Ryan? You sick freak. You're gonna have
they just
looking at.
They put the fucking abortion statue on top of
Ryan, a sweaty granite statue with
Dave, pull,
very average size white penis.
Pull up the single greatest statue in Western culture.
You want me to pull up the single greatest statue in Western culture?
It's that or the Piety, dude. I don't know.
Okay, hold on.
Who's kill the dude, the Medusa statue, Perseus, when he kills Medusa?
Hold on. No, none of these are what I'm looking for.
Just putting
This one's
David
pretty good. Here we go.
David statue. Don't you dare pull up a picture of yourself. I swear
No,
to
no, no.
God.
I'm just pulling up the most beautiful statue in modern.
Don't
Here,
do this.
here.
No, David.
What?
No.
That's what's wrong
No,
with that
dude.
statue, Ryan? It's got
It's like
ram horns. It's satanic.
demonic.
It's got weird snake arms. That's the
Snake
one.
arms, dude. Hydra snake arms.
All right. What do you want for real? What are you really looking for?
Pull up a picture of David the statue now.
Statue of David. Okay. Well, that's me. You said not to pull me up.
Oh, I'm gonna pull you up, dude.
Here's the problem with the statue of me. They didn't give me enough liberties. If you know what I'm talking about.
Your
There's
dick's
not
too
enough.
big or your balls are too
There's not
small?
enough. No, there's not enough liberties. Here, I'll pull
Dave,
this up.
well, when you think about it, if you were to shrink David, your dick would actually be way smaller. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the I don't know. I don't know about this.
All right, how about let's pull up a more modern statue. How about the self-made man? That's another good one. And then I'll actually make a point about this instead of all these silly statues.
All right, you want the? I'm sorry. What was that?
The self-made man
Self-made man
statue.
statue. Well, I'm sure it's gonna.
No, I mean, there's like movies I think called it and stuff in books.
Well, here, listen. Here's what I know, Ryan. I Google
Just pull up the
self-made man. Fear not, you're getting the self-made man. This is the one.
Yeah, this is a cool statue. I actually want a small statue of this to have in my house, but they're kind of expensive.
Well, I think what we should do is get you the real statue.
Yeah, this was actually made by a woman, which is even better.
Interesting.
My point in bringing this up, I forget when this statue was made, but this is way more modern art with like that same old classical antiquity vibe. I would argue that the pharaoh's statue of in Egypt and sarcophaguses and ancient Peloponnesian cult, like
I think it's sarcophagi.
sarcophagus, whatever ones were stolen. They used to eat mummies because
I
they
don't
thought
actually
it
know
would
if that's
make you
true.
younger. They used to eat mummies. Rich people,
Do
man,
you not
whatever
trust
they
them?
do.
Do you not trust them?
What, rich mummies?
Do you not?
Rich people or
Well,
mummies?
all right, all right. I would trust the Egyptians personally. They built
They're filled with
underground cities
formaldehyde.
before we built underground cities, and it cost us $21 trillion.
Well, they didn't build
So
underground city.
imagine the
David,
riches it
clearly,
took to build a city like that back then.
dude. What if there was no sand there and Egypt's like a billion years old and humans are like a billion years old the way we are, and we're just
Could
like,
you
yeah.
imagine the
And
amount
that's
of
just been
imported sand, Brian?
the imported sand, the Chinese sand, David. I wonder if they tariff the sand. Back to statues. Art's important, people. I'm not going to get up here and grandstand and say that we all need liberal arts degrees or we have to understand why the greatest works of literature and the greatest works of all time and beautiful statues are beautiful statues. When you go out, I've never gone outside in like nature and be like, man, I'm fucking depressed, And the same thing kind of hits you when you look at good art. Everybody, for some reason, David, can look at that statue and be like, it's beautiful. Like a self-made man. Gotcha. That is the image of a self-made man for that. Like, gotcha. And I'm not saying you have to make things like this. I'm up for all art. I love all art. But if we're talking about a reflection of what we understand, and I understand that that statue in particular was trying to do whatever its message is. My message nowadays is the same thing. There's a statue in Buffalo, David. Maybe next time I drive by, I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you so we can pull it up in the program. But it's just like a bent over fucking piece of steel. It's painted red and it's in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing else around it like it, and it's in the ghetto. Like it's like the art around it reflected the neighborhood. It's just like there's nothing here. It's a Rust Belt city, the whole nine. And when they make statues and put them up in your neighborhood, they're spending thousands, tens of thousands, millions of dollars in some cases in Washington or some of these. I'm sure that statue in New York City was super cheap, David.
It was made of bronze, so that doesn't help.
Yeah,
And it's a hefty person, so a lot of bronze was necessary.
So, I mean, they're leaving these things as footprints and footnotes in our cities, and they can't piss on you and call you peasants. other than telling you to eat crickets and crawl in the death pods. But they can leave you shitty art so you're not inspired. They can build you shitty buildings so you're not inspired. They can give you shitty recycled food so you're not inspired to like go try new tastes from cultures and areas all around the world. If you don't think that a shitty statue is symbolic of your entire existence, you're mistaken. That is why when you look at beautiful statues, you are touched at such a deep biological level that you can cry if you really think about it long enough, I bet you. Or if you care enough about art, you'll respect the craft and etc. But I think we all understand when you look at buildings that are beautiful or look at artwork that's beautiful or hear a beautiful piece of music or there's a reason why it's a consensus, why lots of people agree, why it stands the test of time, why a statue like this that even is modern looks like it's 400 years old and you're like, fuck yeah, the Greeks would make that. It's like there's a reason why like this statue is like a statue that should be propped up in the modern era of like this is what we're capable of. And this I think this is what we need to be doing going forward. I've always said this. We need to make what we have to, this Alex preach that. That's why this program exists. You got to make the things you want to see, and that's fine. But I'm fine with people making the art they want, but we need to understand that where they're placing these things, the things that they're made out of, they have symbolic nature. And I'll say it again, literally, if that is the opposite of beauty standards or whatever that's literally like first of all what the average African American woman looks like is fat and overweight. Black women are the most obese on average, most obese statistic that there is or something. And yeah, the phone one's perfect too. There was a thing, Dave. Chris Williamson and Joe Rogan talked about it, but a guy went through and he took a bunch of pictures of people in black and white of them on their phones, and he removed the phone, photoshopped it, and it's just a
Mhm.
bunch of stills of people staring at their hand. It is so weird. It is so weird. And the point of art is to give you like the illusion of control back at you and saying you don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
Art
that
is
and
basically like the psychology of the human experience in physical form.
well, that's right, and I think part of it is supposed to be, thought provoking to some extent, or at least to get your mind going in some degree. Um, which is tough because I don't want to be. I'm certainly not an artist by any means. I can't draw. I can't paint. I can't do anything. But I'm not saying I could do better. So it's hard for me to look at that and say, "Oh yeah, that's beautiful art," because I don't. I just I almost need to pull it back up. I really think everyone should look at this and just really try to talk yourself into it. Like what Ryan had up, that's nice art. Okay, I'm all for that. What here is the art? What's the thought provocation? What is the I don't know. Like what are they really going for here?
Well, if that's the other thing. If it's to what is it? Confronts preconceived notions of identity and representation. Here's the thing: it's never America being a mostly white country has never been about representation. At least for me, when we talk about on this program, it's the fact that most of us are white statistically. So yeah, I mean, I guess by default, the confronts the preconceived notions that yeah, we are a white nation. Okay, so you're black or you're some kind of mixed race or you're some kind of different. Fine, but we're a nation of immigrants, right?
Well, the
The
thing that yeah, but
preconceived notion was the melting pot, David.
there's so many things about that though, because one, America was never built as or sold as a white majority country. It just is like it is just a fact of the country, but it's not like what was the intention. We weren't specifically trying to be white only. Like none of
Well,
that is none of
Judeo-Christian
that.
values, David, tend to
The
fall
black
in like
peoples aren't black people aren't Christians. It. Here's the thing.
I'd wager
Seriously
there's
though.
more white Christians than blacks, David, but
Oh,
whatever.
maybe sure, but that's not the
That,
point.
that's
Is
not why
we
I'm
weren't
saying that, for the
sure
record.
sure.
It's just if you look at where the religion populates, it is in
Well, and that's a
European white
sure, and if
cultures.
we were
The
founded by a bunch of
Greco
black if we were founded by a bunch of black Muslims, I would imagine we wouldn't be a Judeo-Christian country, sure. The point is we weren't intentionally trying to be a very white country, that's just a fact of what we are currently. And to then try to make a point to like take that white people. It's like we none of us none of us were here trying to intentionally build an all white nation. And quite frankly,
Australia
it's
is though.
well, that's a bunch of prisoners from Britain. We weren't trying to do that, okay? And we're not trying to maintain that to my knowledge. I don't think anyone's and when I say anyone, are there very French people who are like, America should be white only? Sure, maybe. Majority of people couldn't care less. They really couldn't. So
Dude.
what you get is you get absolute fringes like trying to fight each other, making it seem like it's mainstream.
Well, and that's maybe it, David. Is this like part of the reason why this things gets blown up or whatever? Is to just it's like the equivalent of AstroTurf.
To me, this is like an in your fight. Like m- m-
I truly
my
believe.
perception of what they're doing with this is like in your face.
Serious question, David. 100 years ago, okay, if your
Okay,
grandparents, okay, your
sure.
grandparents that murdered Nazis,
Mhm.
okay, and are rebuilding the world, okay, when they were given the chance of choosing, I don't care if it's a McDonald's, but a McDonald's that looked like the buildings we have now, or a McDonald's that looked like some really nice upscale class thing, even if it costs more, what do you think your grandparents would pick?
Well, I mean, there certainly was a very obvious classic style that doesn't exist anymore.
Yes, David, and we know that because if you look at old buildings, what do they look like?
They look like old buildings.
Yes, exactly. So it's iconic.
You
This
can
is just,
tell when a building is old by looking at it.
and it's weird that some of those well-maintained, preserved buildings, David, are in exquisite condition that lasts long of time. The other funny thing I find about old buildings, David, you know, some of the oldest buildings there are is state buildings. Isn't that weird? They want you to have a new little cardboard thing, but they got this old, really big, nice one. My point in saying that, David, is our grandparents understood that the things that we build in the earth and the things that we leave, the relics of the past that went and killed Nazis and surveyed the entire globe and was in Vietnam and see mud huts. And yeah, you best believe that these people, when they, that's why when you go to Shays or OLV and you look at these 100-year-old buildings, you're like, I don't even know if we can make this. Do you think like I hope the guys at the stadium right now aren't just saying fuck it, ship it. I hope those dudes are really like making sure that that is one of a kind lifetime craftsmanship because that stadium's going to not it's not going to be built for another 40, 50 years
But
maybe.
yeah, and
You know.
you know the answer to that.
Yeah, oh, well, I hope so. They're my union brothers and sisters. I'd like to think that they're putting
There's
in
I mean,
the
listen,
highest quality
I'm not saying
man.
sure, I'm not saying they're gonna make this thing fall apart in 5 years, but it's not going to have classic old architecture. That's not what they're looking for.
No, because, it is what it is. It's by
Imagine
or
that, dude, that's what they should have built, Ryan, was the fucking Colosseum. People travel all over the world to go see the Colosseum.
still to this day, David, people still go see the Vatican.
Nobody is traveling to see an empty stadium unless there's teams inside of it. No
Mhm.
one's gonna just go travel to MetLife Stadium in Jersey. "Oh, look at this big, beautiful stadium."
Mhm.
No, no.
Mhm. And even at that time, now let's not get into the Anunnaki and fucking levitating the stadium out of fucking outer space, out of somebody's asshole to place in Rome to conquer the world or some Jewish conspiracy and underwater space bases and aliens, David. But and child pedophilia rings in space. But
We'll get to that.
um the Colosseum, like when they built it, they're like, no, fuck that. This is to like symbolize our power, our grace, our like look at our history. We're gonna display our history and this and that. Look at Notre Dame. Like Twin Towers, a more modern example, that was supposed to be the beacon. Why were they built, David? Because it was they were tallest buildings in the world at one time, two of them, not just one. Fuck you twice, two middle fingers. Like literally, it was the sign of economic prosperity and power in Wall Street, downtown Wall Street. Like, what are we talking about?
You know what would really class up Wall Street? A big statue of a fat black chick.
I guarantee you they're not putting
Really
that
make Wall Street
in
look
Wall
nice.
Street, dude. They're really not doing that. They got a bull out there, dude. A
They do have
big,
a bowl.
beautiful fucking bull. Big, beautiful bull right in front of the door. But that's these people, the whole pontification, David, is these people. I literally build the buildings that they fucking sign the prints on. They know exactly, they sign off on this ugly ass
No,
bullshit,
no,
David.
Veep. It's
There's
all Veep crime.
stamps, David. It's like there's layers. Do you know how much government red tape it costs to fucking plant a statue in
Whoa, hold
Times
on.
Square?
What are you
You had to
saying? You're saying
section this off, get permits.
hold
They
on.
had to
You're
like
saying I can't build a
blueprint.
statue, just put it up in Times Square?
The fuck you can, David. People
Why?
were questioning how the
What if
monoliths
that's a
got there
crime?
and
That's
those
freedom of
disappeared.
expression. Don't I
It's
get to
not freedom of expression. You don't own the fucking world, David. You can't just blast that statue. Can't just be put there. It's gonna get pushed over and hurt somebody. So you got to fucking tap.
I'm gonna build a statue and I'm taking it to NYC.
You know what?
I'll put her right next to her.
We should do that. We should actually
I'm
test to see
doing
what
it.
happens. We
Yeah.
should put a fit, strong Greco-Roman white man with a big burly beard
Right next to her.
right next to her.
You know what would happen? We'd be called racist.
I don't know. I think this is
It
racist when
would
the
be
majority of my
considered
country is white.
it would be
Fine.
considered a racist thing to do to make a classic statue and put it next to this.
Dave, I texted you this yesterday, dude. The history people imagine knowing all of history and not knowing history. And what I meant by that was you have the option to look up everything on your phone every second of every day of everything that's ever, and you now have ChatGPT to tell you a story about the history of whatever. You know what I mean? And it's a shame that people don't understand how good the Greeks and Roman way of life and the way of looking at the world was, that it was so powerful that it eventually developed the splitting of the fucking atom. And now we're on the other side of this, and we're the ones that are brainwashed about not enough, too many people and skin color and rate. Like we've been ran through every type of psychological warfare as people our entire lives in our age group, millennials, and we're now seeing it, how it plays out and how it's frayed and how it's displayed in media and art and all that stuff. Not saying it was better or worse or anything, but look, people, the Greeks and Romans won for a reason. They didn't like, you can't just you can't, it's not even about conquering. It's just like the ideas of freedom had to be founded somewhere. The vestige of democracy had to be found somewhere. The idea of beautiful art had to be vestige and placed somewhere. And it's crazy because it's been said by everybody far better than us, but everything in Western civilization is just a footnote of Plato. And everybody's trying to rechase and reinvent and renegotiate and recycle. And there's nothing new under the sun. And the idea that they're not planning this is just pure propaganda to rub it in your face that they did nothing but make you fat, dumb, like helpless and victim mentality and make you fight over weeble wobble things about skin color and your everything else and your Gucci handbags or whatever the hell, what vacation you have, what car you drive, what job you have, and all this while they're building $1 trillion cities and they're building doomsday bunkers for the very tragedies that they say that you're creating with the very lifestyle that you're promoting with a statue built exactly like the things that destroy this country and its people and its families. Fat, undereducated, not informed, not politically awake, not politically engaged, not educated, not fit, like not strong, like not rich. You don't see a rich, they're not dressed well. This is not a well dressed person. So you're saying it's just okay to
Well,
be fat and
she's got a
fucking sloppy? Well, what else?
t-shirt on, right?
What else can you wear when you're 700 pounds? But a big ass oversized t-shirt, nothing fitting to look good. You look good and feel good. And it's funny, David, the rich people, I said this to you too. It's weird that they're allowing free college for everybody now that Chat GPT's come out and it's basically useless to go to college. Because you know what? My sister's in college, and you know what they tell her, Dave? You can use AI all you want. You're paying 30 grand a semester to use something that's $3.99 a fucking week on your phone.
Yeah, but you won't get
And we're
that
and we're
degree at
saying,
the end.
yeah, David. But if you look at the people that are successful, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Donald
Certainly
Trump,
all using their college degrees.
they did not use all their college degrees.
It's from liberal
Steve
arts.
Jobs dropped out of fucking college and he revolutionized the world. And I know he's a fucking insane. Michael Jordan didn't fucking get famous because he had a college degree. LeBron James, Josh, and all the people you care about, the celebrities, they didn't get there. Even if they have a degree, they didn't get there. You don't know them because of their degree, people. And they all tell you to go stay in school because it greases and feeds the wheels of this very thing that this statue is imitating. That is not the preconceived notion of our society. That is our society. And everything's doublespeak, David, because in a world that's upside down, lies are truth and truth are lies. So this saying that this is the opposite, this is doublespeak. They mean this is the opposite. This is what our country is. And they're saying this is the preconceived notion. This was the preconceived notion in 2000, blah, blah, blah. So in 20 years, 50 years, when we're all fat, dumb, black, or mixed race, or whatever fucking thing they want to say, be like, see, we wanted to be here. Our grandparents wanted us to be fat, dumb, and stupid, not fucking fit, jacked, and self made man crafting a better world at our feet for our children. Fit, jacked, and educated and having children. I don't see a child behind her, David. Isn't that odd? See her holding a babe to her breast, David.
Well,
I wonder if she's transgender.
she could be pregnant, to be fair. It's very possible.
If you don't think that they are bearing the symbolic nature of your life in this fucking fat, overweight, grotesque statue, you're mistaken. I'm
So
sorry.
you so all in
They
all then,
fucking laugh at you. They call you peasants and tell you to eat bugs. I'm supposed to believe that this is just like a coincidence. They put fucking
she's not eating
demonic
bugs.
statues at the top of all the beacons of power made out of marble. You know what energy gold holds, Dave? You know what one of the greatest conductors of electricity in all of our finding is gold. It's just so damn expensive, David. I'm sure the elites have all the 24 karat plated gold wire in their house.
So do you like it?
I bet you the Egyptians had liquid gold poured into molds and then they would zap electricity across it, and that's how they would levitate everything. Be like a fucking electric heating pad. DC power is very easy to manipulate. It'd be a big electrical magnet. Sorry, I didn't mean to do this. The pyramids are 7,000 feet tall, and we have 7,000 pound statues. Something's fucked up, dude.
I don't have particularly good handwriting, so I'm looking at my list of the next thing up, and it looks like I wrote Doja Cat. I'm pretty sure it's Doge Cuts.
Doge cuts.
I think it's Doge Cuts. I could have good writing, Ryan, but it requires me to focus and try.
Yeah, it's a sign
And
of ADD.
I rather not put energy into that. Thomas Massey, one of the few good ones, told everyone that Speaker of the House Johnson quietly canceled a vote that would make Doge cuts permanent. Um, why? Why, Ryan?
Well, they're probably effective, or do we not? We're supposed to think that the government organization to make the government
It's
small and
going to cut itself in the
manageable,
leg.
yeah, is going to cut itself to oblivion. This is like the snake that's eating its own tail, David. Will it ever truly finish eating if it keeps eating its own tail?
Yes, it's going to run out eventually.
You would think. What if the
You
tail
can't
gets
print,
so? Just what if you can just print new tails, David? Just
you
keep
can't
regenerating
print a
tails.
tail. They're not self-regenerating snakes.
It's connected to a money
It's
printer, David. It's a fax machine snake, David.
it's
You
a
just keep
snake. They're not.
printing
That
tails.
doesn't make sense.
They print tails, David.
I don't think so.
Humans
What
have
was
regeneration. Changed my mind.
what was the point of Doge?
To cut the government into something that's manageable and sustainable long term, and access. Department of Government Efficiency is actually, if we're supposed to believe the name, David.
I think it's more than that.
What do you think it is? Political organization, David? I think it's a think tank,
No,
David.
no. Well, here's truly, truly what I
Hmm.
think, and it has to be allowed to happen. Okay, so Doge can go in, sure, and find all this waste money, no doubt. Any if there was ever a third party audit of the government, the amount of waste and fraud they would find would be outrageous.
Missed that 27 trillion for those underground cities, though.
But more than that, okay, more than finding waste and fraud, inefficiency. We all know that exists. What you would truly find is criminality.
David, I thought, if you got nothing to hide, like, you wouldn't mind if we go
Well,
through the data if you got nothing to hide. When I got
well,
taxed, I have to file my taxes, David.
speaking of that, we're going to get to the Patriot Act later, but you're not just finding inefficiency in government. They found criminal activity, I assure you. And I guarantee they are not going to be allowed to expose that. Because it's criminal activity of what? From the government. So the government, we're supposed to expect that the government's going to create a bureaucratic branch
A
to
branch of the
self
government.
audit itself, to cut itself down smaller, to put its own criminals in jail. And we're supposed to believe that's going to happen. That doesn't mean I don't think Elon Musk is in on some big conspiracy where he's trying to expand government or something like that. Doesn't mean I don't think Trump is either for or against Doge in any way. But you got conflicting powers right now is what you have. You have the party versus everyone else.
Dave, isn't that interesting? You said it that Doge is bigger than that, and you're kind of getting to it. And Elon, maybe he likes entendre, so maybe he's literally entendreing the Department of Government Efficiency because he knew that it wouldn't be efficient and it wouldn't happen and it wouldn't work. I'm just 3D chessing this, war gaming this. This is not what I believe, but it'd be funny, right? Because wouldn't it be funny if they started this to kind of prove that the government is impossibly incompetent and will never actually be efficient? And no matter what you do in government, it will never be efficient.
Well,
Now I
I
know
think
like they are trying to practically do it as well, but like in theory, like the
well
idea
here's
what we're discussing is the very theory he's proving that like the idea that the government would willingly cut itself to a manageable level as it grows and maintains growth but
yeah.
also cuts beyond access so that there is no bloat, so that there is no corruption, so that there is term limits, so that there is balanced budget, so that there isn't endless wars, so that there isn't, drunk murdering, child molesting, murder covering up politicians.
Well, I think potentially that's actually what we're getting right now is this is going, if nothing else, it's going to make a point. At some point, people need to wake up and understand that we're not voting our way out of this.
Yeah, no, we're like
Not calling
trying to
for violence, YouTube, but you're not voting your way out of this.
yeah, we're like on a drawbridge, right? Like on a rope bridge across a canyon. And on one side is all the super good people that never do anything wrong. And on the other side is a gradient of people to the other side where it's like Satan. And we have to decide where to cut on the fucking. That's what we're trying to do at the government level. Like we're trying to be like, no, this is the right here is too big government. Right here is too small government. Right here is just enough. Like we're trying to Goldilocks government at a department level. And it's one impossible, but two, to my point about the entendre and Dave's relevant issue that it's bigger. It's actually more important that they don't get anything cut than them actually cutting something. Because it's kind of like showing,
Because then it makes a point.
yeah, it kind of
Because
if
he's been
if they
open
could
about
make
it.
a
He's been
department to cut the government and it would be easy, it would prove that it was all just shambles and all just Veep and it was all just them dumbing it down. Oh yeah, we just casually signed this. No. Be like, why is this department here? Be like, oh, because this guy fucked somebody's wife. Be like, why did the wife suck the guy's dick? Well, what happened? Well, he murdered somebody, so we had to send the escort there to like, and it's like, wait, what? And then there's the Epstein shit. You want to, that is a microcosm. Nancy Pelosi's a microcosm. You talk about insider trading and stuff. That has probably got most of the Congress people, let alone any of the 0.01% of crime that all those psychopaths would never do, David. I know we had on the guy that's like, they want to be liked. Yeah, you know who else wants to be liked? Fucking psychopaths. They want to be liked. They want to dominate. They want to control. They want to feed off your emotions. They
but
like
they
taking
don't
you.
wanna be liked by us.
Yeah, they don't want to. Yeah, what is Doge to a psychopath? A fucking spotlight. Be like, oh, what are you doing over there? And they're like, nothing. And they're tucking body parts in the fucking closet. And the body
It's
parts are bloat, corruption, and let's go all the way. Once again, it doesn't have to be. I've said this for years about you have nothing to hide. Great. Those people do. And when you have something to hide, you are, Dave, once again, you brought up the killing people. Well, what if it's not killing somebody? What if it's letting you know that one time you flirted with the office secretary that I got on camera and you slept with her by chance or kissed her? Or, like, gotcha, bitch. The Harvey Weinstein, that's the easy one. But go all the way. What if they some funds were misused once or twice? So they bought a dinner for their wife, took a government vehicle. That's misuse of government funds. They got a guy around here the one time, I think it was an Easy Pass. He had it for years. And he got caught with government abuse of funds because he was taken in his car so he wouldn't have to pay for Easy Pass. And then I think shortly after that, they started becoming orange. The government ones were orange.
Mm.
But this is what I'm saying. And
I'm
if
sure they
you're,
changed that whole thing because he was the only one.
I'm sure nobody up super high was doing the exact same thing. It was just Joe Schmo at the way bottom of the Veep pyramid, David. It wasn't all those people that were uncompartmentalized that knew the whole fucking. The military puts everything to a pyramid, and they're just like, no, we got here by accident. Really built the pyramid by accident. That's weird. It's weird. 5-star. There's only one 5-star general by accident, David. That's weird. There's only one president by accident. That's weird. Just Veep though. Yeah. This to your keep furthering hammering this fucking point. Yeah, they found everything. They could find everything, or they potentially could. Not that they have, and he's holding it. And I'm not doing that.
Well, I guarantee you they found a lot. Elon has been
Well,
upfront about some of the things they found, and it's very Twitter file-esque,
mhm.
where Elon got in there and opened up the books, and you can only open up so much on the government, but they've been releasing some of the things they found. I assure you, it's not everything.
Yeah, I mean, they always setting the conspiracies, right? What was the first famous thing? Follow the money. Well, Department of Government Efficiency is the definition of following the money. It's like we don't have to wait for the fucking IRS to come. You know what I mean? Like we're basically just doing that's yeah, I really liked this idea of other than they found mass levels of various things, and that is the problem. And it's all unzipping, all the corruption, all the inside trading, all the murder, all the scheming, all the cheating, all the lying, all the double dipping, all the the double sponsor. You got to think too, Elon going through this. This isn't just politicians. This is corporations. This is the military. This is car companies. This is Walmart, Amazon, fucking yeah, it's political think tanks, it's everybody, it's the weapons dealers, it's pharmaceutical companies, it's the drug cartels. Like there's a lot of this is
Well,
yeah,
we're gonna get into Epstein in a minute, but I suspect this is similar in certain ways.
it'd be the definition, David.
Just think of all the just
I bet you that
imagine, and
Epstein Island was built with fucking government money, dude. I guarantee that.
we're gonna get into it in just a minute. I want to talk about the Patriot Act first, but like
Patriot Act, David.
that's right.
They hate us because of
Uh,
our freedom.
yeah, I mean, Epstein wasn't random.
Only one like them too, obviously.
We're gonna talk about the quantity and the size and scope of what they're finding. Um, but the guy had cameras everywhere. Why? For his own security and safety. It was a blackmail operation.
I mean, David,
Uh,
clearly the guy that has a painting of Bill Clinton in the Monica Lewinsky dress,
that's just art, man.
smoking a cigar
Just
and
art.
going like this, has
Surely that's just art.
nothing to hide. The same guy that also, did you ever see his George Bush painting?
Yeah, I think we pulled it up on here actually.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's George Bush playing with like little towers of and a little plane flying into it. Like a child's game, David.
Uh, Representative Anna Paulina Luna. Breaking
Hey,
today.
what's up, Luna?
Ryan,
Sean
try to
knows
be
what he's
professional.
doing.
This is
I'm
a
not. Look, I am being very professional, David. I'm sure she's very qualified. I trust her 100%, David.
you yes.
I
Today
can
I
I can only
introduced
see from her chin up, David. What do you? I have no idea what you're talking about.
uh today I introduced the American Privacy Restoration Act to fully repeal the Patriot Act and strip rogue intelligence officers of their extraordinary mass surveillance powers. Since the passage of the USA Patriot Act in the aftermath of 9/11, intelligence agencies, by the way, they wrote that thing awfully fast. Intelligence agencies officials have used their mass surveillance tools to settle personal scores, interfere in elections, and spy on untold numbers of innocent Americans. The abuse must come to an end.
And also, I'll add a caveat because all these people, obviously, David, have never read a fucking science fiction movie. They've also paved the way for AI intelligence and mass metadata collection, which will program artificial intelligence for military operations, economic advantages, and everything in between, life extension, technology, everything in between, and all education, fucking water, space travel, everything. We've built the system that they're rich off of with our daily lives. We should be, if for the people, honestly, I'm not one David for wealth sharing, but if anybody should be wealth distributing, it should be all of the Silicon Valley assholes that have benefited from the mass metadata, because basically without all of humanity's work there, they would have never had anything to quantify. And they could say that it was pointless, but it's not. That was the premise of the military operation that came from the military, the Patriot Act. Is this that girl?
I I wanted to see how quickly Ryan would lose his focus. Ryan, you failed that miserably.
Failed that
Ryan,
I'm a man?
Ryan,
What,
come
David?
back,
She
come
was
back, come
served
back
in
to
the
us.
military. I
Ryan,
was
come back.
looking at the
Here,
bulletproof. I was looking
the
at the
bulletproof vest.
vest, David.
Ryan, come back to us.
The vest, David. It's
Ryan,
not
we're over here.
funny. This is not funny, dude.
Right. All right, now keep making your point and see. Go.
Um, yeah, the mass metadata collection. I've always been pissed off about that people just glance over that with the Patriot Act. It's actually like one of the main premises of 1984. I know I beat that a lot here, but the Ministry of Truth is the reason why corruption exists. It's actually the reason why. It's actually interesting. They're trying to cut surveillance, but survey with Doge. It's actually like the main reason why a lot of this shit can happen. I truly believe that. I'm not saying that if we couldn't blackmail each other, things would get better, David, because I think they would work the same. But this idea that we all have to be on camera all the time and just completely make it, it's really
Ryan,
ridiculous, dude.
come on, Ryan.
I've been really good. Yeah, the reason that these people have gotten away is because of all these surveillance, all this data they've quantified. They get
Where did
ahead
the
of things.
term mass metadata start?
I don't quite know. I do remember the first
Is
time I
it
really remember hearing it is Alex, and Alex would always say that the way that they get away with it and sold it to the American people and to Congress, quite frankly, because they could figure out what the fucking Wi-Fi router does, David. They they would say that mass metadata wasn't useful and that it was just basically a bunch of data and they couldn't really, and it wasn't a lie, but it wasn't also true, because the thing is they couldn't use it and they didn't know what it was because they didn't develop a system that needed all the data. But once they
you got
got
you?
the data, they could start writing the algorithms to understand the data. And then that is why on your iPhone you can swipe down and search fucking anything and it pulls up all your shit. It pulls up, if you type in the on your iPhone, it will pull up every message with the in it, every app with THE in it, with every, and it knows all that because it has mass metadata capability to search through. Because it's basically, without the mass metadata, they could never make the hashtag for you to search for. And when you type in search in Google, it's basically little hashtags. I know I've said this before on the program, but it's been a while. But that's basically how the internet works.
I
So,
was
like,
trying to see if it was semi-related in any way to the Patriot Act.
what?
Just mass metadata in general. Because I'm trying to think when that term started being well known.
Mhm.
It was definitely after the Patriot Act.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10 years old. It's at least 10 years old.
So was like
It's within the social media age. Like that mass
for
metadata
sure,
wasn't.
but did it start as a government thing? Is my point?
Mm. Oh, you mean like the same thing, like people familiar with the matter?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. It's just Veep, David. So why would you be asking? It's not like the military is like a branch of the government.
it could be.
They just, are the richest people on earth. But let's not talk about that.
Bulk metadata data surveillance and the Patriot Act. The court acknowledged that metadata can reveal civil, political, or religious affiliations. They can also reveal individuals' social status or whether and when he or she is involved in intimate relationships. To justify its surveillance activities, the government argued that Section 215 of the Patriot Act authorizes the bulk collection of metadata. The Patriot Act was passed in the wake of 9/11.
Okay, what was the first thing that alleged that it can tell you? What? How do they phrase before they list it?
The court acknowledged metadata can reveal civil, political, or religious
Can.
affiliations.
Do you remember that article that we pulled up about how they just knew based on Wi-Fi and running water the statistical odds that girls in Brazil would get pregnant? I'm
Yes.
supposed to believe that they just maybe can tell how much money I make with way more fucking data in a civilized country. Your phone holds everything you do, all your steps, your heartbeats, and Apple can say, look. I'll go full circle. I've said this before. Apple can say that they're like, oh, we're going to hold this from the government. We could be like, yeah, Apple, go ahead. But every time we kind of allow that, what we're doing is allowing Apple to build a breakaway government civilization with corporatized, privatized rights. And you don't have rights on Apple's social media because it's Apple's and we built it with our money that you gave us because we use your data through these fucking loopholes. Repeal it all. I can kind of see how Kevin says that there should be no copyrights and everything should kind of necessarily, the ideas be free because it almost removes Apple's ability to do this. Like the only people that would open and run a cell phone company are people that want to open and run a cell phone company by like default. There's no like leverage of power or the ability to be corruptive with information.
The usage of the term metadata and related discussions about mass metadata collection surged in 2013 following the Snowden revelations. Before that, while metadata was used in various technical contexts, the term didn't have widespread public recognition. So 2013 was kind of like the most. Early years, 1990s, metadata became increasingly relevant for corporations grappling with managing their information resource as the World Wide Web grew and the Y2K deadline approached. The 2000s, data increasingly stored digitally. Metadata standards were used to describe and manage this digital data.
So it was until Snowden.
Well, Snowden is when the term surged, but it's in the original Patriot Act from 2001, and the term was used in the 1990s. Interesting.
I'm sure the military never had to deal with mass metadata before, David. So I'm sure the systems put in place to manage these were just developed spur of the moment, David.
It's very possible, but probably not. Probably not. But
Well,
here's the
Amazon
thing.
definitely is building the Prime. They're building it as they go. They build their experience as they go.
Unfortunately, Ryan, I will now get into Epstein. Because this is interesting, but it's going to take me a while to get back. So start talking about stuff.
Tristan Tate was trending on X. I wonder what that's about.
Ryan, do you watch The Last of Us?
I don't watch shit.
We'll watch it.
Okay, here we go, Ryan.
It's a video game, right?
Yeah, it was a video game, and they made it into a show.
Yeah,
they
and
made Oberyn from fucking Game of Thrones.
Well, and of course, they. First of all,
no, don't even go there.
What?
Don't even go there.
Spoil the shit. I don't care. Spoil.
Well, they did. They gave the main character. Here's the thing.
I heard she looks nothing like the.
Well, she doesn't. She's a.
She.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say anything about like her acting ability or anything. She's fine. She doesn't look anything like the main character. Also, like Down syndrome and lesbian, I think, is what they were going for. It's very interesting. It's a weird. The
Last
thing.
of Us is going to be Down syndrome and lesbian.
Well, I threw Down syndrome in there, but there's a little bit of something.
Tism dodges tism.
Yeah,
dude.
it's interesting. Also, she's a dad. Apparently, I don't know. They got fucking wild fast because I'm sure they just let HBO have the fucking run with it. Right, here is AG Pam Bondi. She's wearing clothes, so you'll be able to have thoughts. Here she is, talking about Epstein. Quietly.
Can you pause it? Can you pause it?
Well,
No, just enough. Just fucking enough. Dude, enough. Enough. Look.
Enough? How do you want me to pause it enough?
Dude, just stop. Trump is so... I love my man. We voted Trump in to get hot news reporters and hot fucking government officials. And it's just... It's back, baby. America is back. This is fucking great.
I don't suspect you're gonna like her in a second. You'll like her here.
Look, I don't give... Look.
Just let the whole thing play out first.
Yeah. Look. That's part of the psychology, Dave. Don't get me wrong. It's militarized. I fucking hate the military. But at least I know. They know that I know I prefer this. It's all the art, David. They know I want hot news anchors, but they build fat statues. Make it make fucking sense. Make it make sense. They know I want a hot girl on the cigarettes and the alcohol, but I want a fat statue in Times Square. Go ahead. Roll the clip of this hot, attractive woman that you purposely pay to stay hot and inject with Botox at a government fucking funded research to tell me that she's going to do some crazy civil liberty jujitsu to steal my shit.
NIH Botox.
You motherfucker,
Dr.
dude.
Paul.
Doctor, there is no Botox in my balls. Fauci has a penis pump, that little prick.
No, the FBI. Yeah, the FBI, they're reviewing. There are tens of thousands of
mass metadata
videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume. And that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going through that. I haven't seen that statement, but I'll call him later and find out.
The FBI is diligently going through child porn.
Well, it's been on their laptops for years.
Dude, come on. How much child porn you got to go through? Aren't you guys watching the child porn? Is consuming child porn fucking illegal?
They're not.
So we have
Ryan,
the police illegally looking at child porn.
It doesn't matter. You're missing the point. They're
What's
not
the point?
Covering up the child porn. They don't care about the victims.
Okay.
They're covering up who's involved.
Well, I know that.
Tens of thousands of victims.
Nobody famous?
Tens of thousands of victims? Tens of thousands of fucking predators.
No, David. Just victims.
All of them. All of them are rich and famous people.
Just victims on the island, David.
Billionaires.
Just victims on the island.
It's the only island.
Only island.
Cities. That would be crazy. But here we are. Tens of thousands of videos of child rape from Epstein and his associates.
Crazy that guy got that many children.
It'd be so crazy if there was a city under the ground. Wow, that'd be crazy. There was an island where they fucked kids. Rich and powerful people.
Tens of thousands of hours worth.
Tens of thousands of hours worth. It'd be so crazy. It's so crazy that they'd build a city under the ground. That's not nearly as crazy as this. And we know this is true.
This is the shit above ground.
Yeah, this is what we're doing above ground. Could you imagine what they do under the island?
Dude,
There's cities under the water. What do you think they're doing under the island?
Robot pedophile raves going on under, just like that dude, the orgy under the M&T fucking bank. Fucking
This is absolute dude, I think madness.
I'm sorry that I oversmoked that, David. I think it's funny that she was just like, the FBI is deliberately going through tens of thousands of hours of child pornography. It's like,
you got to get through it, you know?
You got guys just sitting there watching kids get fucked for
It's somebody's job.
No, that's the one we make a robot for. That's the one you need Stephen Hawking robot for, David.
Well, you think you can use AI technology?
Why not, David? The iPhone could scan my whole phone.
Kind of AI technology. All they have
really,
to do
David?
Is scan video automatically.
Yeah, no, David. It's not like they have my audio pre-captured on YouTube.
Scan video and audio.
Yeah. How do you think they fucking mass metadate to see how things on YouTube can get there, David? Oh yeah. My iPhone scans every face in there and puts them all in the same photo album. I didn't do that. I can click on Ryan, look at all my selfies. I didn't do that.
Well,
I didn't prompt for that to happen. Did I?
Apple technology?
No way, David. They probably got way less than Apple technology if they could fly fucking airplanes.
They need real men on this job.
Maybe they hired all the fat black girls, David, to fucking find.
Hold on, because we got two more videos.
Just Veep, David. Just Veep. Clearly, Veep, we just have tens of thousands of hours of child pornography at a rich and famous person's powerful house that may or may just Veep, Ben Shapiro. He was probably at the island getting fucked. That's why he doesn't want to come out. He's probably one of the underage people that was fucked by rich and powerful people. Little prick bastard. Watch your fucking
he does
crumble.
He does kind of
fuck. Look, I don't even care that it's mean and hateful. The guy's a liar. He sold your entire country out. These people are treasonous. They're covering up for child. Dude, the worst shit on earth is fucking with kids, and you're covering up for child fucking molesters. Tens of thousands of hours, dude. And then you got somebody watching it to make sure. That's even creepier. As creepy as that sounds. You got a guy that likes a secondhand child molest. This is crazy. At a government level.
Hold on. We go on.
James O'Keefe's.
Oh, my man. Let's go.
This is supposed to be a report
is about someone in the Trump administration covering up Epstein. And then he put out a little short trailer yesterday that shows an image or still shot of video of Pam Bondi. So he didn't tell me the specifics. When he called me and me alone as a dead man switch, so I was, I guess, flattered by him. He's like, I think you might be the only person that I know has the integrity to tell this in case something happens. And then when he told me, I was like, yeah, you are in danger, buddy. He told me the other stuff too. But he wouldn't even say who in the administration.
Isn't it crazy? Alex just used to being with his life on the line.
And I told Drew,
nobody believed me.
And I said, it's Pam Bondi. According to my sources. And
that's
because the White House already knows about this. So I wouldn't even tell the crew last week what the specifics were because I don't want to endanger them.
Look at that document camera.
And then there's two other big stories, and it looks just like this little promo video that he put out. He's kind of putting the three together because it's a big Pfizer news, and then some more Epstein news connected to the Democrats. But I'm going to stop right there. And
when this comes out, we have to watch it, right?
Yeah. Well, I hope
it's not. What he puts out today. So we're going to be watching
what the FBI's covering.
Obviously, his ex account. That'd be weird. Keeping it very, very closely. Now,
that guy's tens of thousands of hours watching child porn. You got fucking AI robots to fucking scan everything. It's crazy. And then all the rich and powerful people, David, is obviously the way more important thing, but they're focusing on victims.
Yeah,
Prince Andrew raping somebody for tens of thousands of hours.
The James O'Keefe video coming out is gonna be fucking wild. He was, for those who don't remember, he was in Project Veritas, and then somehow, some reason was he kicked out from his own company or something? It was weird. It's a weird situation, but he's doing his own thing still. And guess what? Nobody cares about Project Veritas. They care about James O'Keefe. He was the face. He was everything. So he does some of the shit he has uncovered over the years is crazy. One more thing though related to Epstein. So do you remember Prince Andrew was in on this Epstein thing, and there's like pictures and videos with him with underage girls and Epstein at the same time. And he was literally confronted at one point, and they're like, "Oh, this is you, right?" And he's like, "No, I don't think so." And it's like this is just the stupidest, the craziest shit. This is also from James O'Keefe. Prince Andrew with underage girls, tapes of the royal family. This is interesting. What the hell is that? Why did that do that?
250 days at sea. Never thought of it. I was really pissed because he lied to me. Epstein. And then I did a big thing in the Daily Mail saying that I believed Andrew. And then I found out he was lying. I was so pissed. No, he was f***ing underage girls. That's not cool.
John Bryan has been a close confidant to the British royal family for a long time. He worked for Queen Elizabeth II, was, quote, best friends with Princess Diana, and had a long-term intimate relationship with the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson.
Now, we're not going to watch the whole thing here right now, but everyone go over James Keefe and watch that little clip. And then again, once this bigger thing drops, we could probably watch that. But yeah, this goes so deep. Oh, they want to protect the victims. Really, do they want to protect the victims, or do they want to protect the royal family and all of our politicians and all of our billionaires?
Do you mean a ceremonial royal
You
family?
want to hear something super crazy about the Epstein thing? We think it's way smaller than it was. I don't think we understand the scale of this.
We think it was like one of 150, under city pedophile.
Tens of thousands of hours. That's what's on camera.
Dude, they had Diddy parties, like serious
Tens of thousands
Epstein.
of hours, Ryan. How many days is 10,000 hours?
It's 24 hours in a day, David. Years of.
It's over a year. 10,000 hours is over a year. That's just the footage. They have over a year, and then she said tens of thousands. What if it's 30,000? 1,250 days, Ryan? That's what's on camera? Were they just non-stop raping people? This is fucking crazy.
How old's the tape? How long does the tape go back to?
And we got.
I'm sure it's the only house like
go
that,
back.
too.
It could go back 15, 20 years. You know what I mean?
Dude, David, and the other thing is, how do they have tens of thousands if he wasn't holding on to it? Because your Ring doorbell and your Ring cameras in your house, those normally wipe after 30, 60, 90 days, right? Like, they're not holding.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, no. He
Yeah.
kept all of his own security footage archived on big 10 terabyte hard drives for his own personal use.
So he was a computer nerd and a
Yeah,
construction worker and a
yeah.
sex ring operator
Yeah,
and
nobody else was involved in the,
zero.
just him doing his own thing.
Built the island himself. He fucking carried it. He bought all the screws at the local hardware store.
Yeah, at the local Home Depot and
local home.
whatever.
For the super funny story, we went to Lowe's today to get bolts. Lowe's literally didn't have the bolts we need. They literally did not have any bolts.
They had no bolts.
It was nut, but you know what I mean. All the same thing. It's getting rough out there. So Epstein definitely all in one, man. He's a man's man, self-made man. Zero help, David. Started from the bottom.
On his own, became a billionaire
in 50 years.
On his own, bought an island. On his own, built his own house on his island that he also maintained.
Yeah.
The flight log was just Epstein every time. There was nobody else there.
So he flew the plane. I mean, how he was flying, writing, fueled the plane.
Who the fuck is the pilot? Where is the pilot?
It was him, dude.
I want to talk to the pilot.
Does Epstein have a?
Epstein was not flying.
Just look up if Jeffrey Epstein has a legal pilot's license.
I highly doubt it.
Just look it up. So I mean, like, dude, you don't even got to go layers deep on conspiracies. Like, okay, and then interview the pilot. I don't understand why. Like David, like you said, like who's the pilot? Okay, well,
no publicly available information suggesting that he had a pilot's license.
There you go. So he doesn't have
a fleet of private jets. Frequently traveled on them. He employed professional pilots to fly the aircrafts.
There you go. Just
Epstein owned private jets. A Gulfstream 4, a Gulfstream GVSP, a Boeing 7. He had an own 727.
Look that up. Look up how much a Boeing 727 goes for, David.
Oh, that's probably the cheapest one there.
Just look it up. Gulfstream's pretty. It sounds expensive.
Price of a Boeing 727. Oh, those are cheap. Used 727s can be found for $1.5 million. No, I doubt he bought a used one, so let's just say it's $25 million for a new one.
I'm sure that thing had 0 cameras in it too. They just had cameras on the house. Just cameras on the house.
GVSP price. Ooh, 7.5 to 10.5 million. And then he had multiple planes that he flew himself to his own island at the house he built on his own island. I mean, these.
Yeah, shut down Doge so he can't follow the money about how the asshole had a fucking.
This is so much bigger than people think it is.
It might be the biggest thing ever.
And this is what we're
other than Jesus.
Hold on, this is the other point. This is what we're gonna know
Yo, that
We're
was
gonna-
creepy. Did you
this.
get that? Did you get that?
What?
Your mic went foggy and static.
Did I do that? Did I do this?
When I was about to say other than Jesus, it'd be like the biggest thing ever, like other than Jesus. I went,
I don't know.
I don't know, 105. I gotta listen back.
I don't know. Here's
I will
Yeah.
never kill myself, and neither will Dave.
That's the
He
thing.
might kill me
This-
in the studio, but you know.
Possibly. This is the one we know about. Okay, so we're gonna know about tens of thousands of hours of Epstein and his rich famous friends. What is the hidden stuff we don't know about?
Well, clearly, David, it's all on camera because the Patriot Act said so.
I don't know, Ryan. I'm looking forward to the release, though.
None of it makes any sense, dude. And I also think people are asking the wrong questions. So, but that goes back to AI. What is there to say, Dave? Anything else?
No.
Well, Dave Ryan, December 1773, until we are self-assassinated or whatever they call it nowadays. Catch us on Rumble for the greatest podcast in human history. As always, David, I appreciate you most for your time, and I will see you all in Guantanamo Bay or tomorrow.
El Salvador.
I don't know. Hopefully, maybe I'll get dragged to an underground city and just get fucked by all the rich elites that I talk shit about, and that's their like psychotic way to get me back. And my last dying breath as I'm getting ass raped, Dave will be like, "I knew it. 'Tis well."
Did you start that
knew
sentence
it.
with hopefully?
Hopefully I get ass raped.
I think we just learned something about Ryan today.
God, I'm good. Do you like getting fagged? I'm gone. I'll see you later.